Alright, it's Friday. It's Friday, and you know what that means? Well, it's time for a late Dynamite report review, and then I'm also doing Collision since it was on the same show. So it's a little late, and I got time to kill right now, so yeah, let's do this review. So AEW opens up with a tribute to Ted Turner, who sadly passed away at the age of 76, I think it was. He was the owner of WCW. He created WCW, and then Tony Schiavone got in the ring. They spoke about, they spent the first 10 minutes of the show with Tony Schiavone, and then Sting came down, and he talked about Turner's legacy. They spoke about how he loved WCW and competing against the other guys, which AEW is now with Tony Khan running the show. All it takes is being a billionaire many times over. So, and then they did the 10 belt salute, which doesn't happen often in modern wrestling, but it was nice to see. Um, so match one opened up with John Moxley defeated or versus Juice Robinson, and John Moxley won that match by submission. It was a 14-minute match. And it was a decent match. It's a typical Moxley match. And it was nice to see Juice Robinson given some time on Dynamite, so that was good to see. A double Jeopardy match: Orange Cassidy versus Dax Hardwood. If Cassidy won, then the conglomeration gets an AEW World Tag Team title shot. If Hardwood won, then FTR and Ciampa get an AEW Trios title shot. And the match, so Orange Cassidy came out, and then Edge and Christian with her, and then RPG Vice and the Dogs and Stokely were supporting Harwood. But in the end, Orange Cassidy got the win. So and the next up was Chris Jericho and Ricochet, who were his buddies in the Demand. Toa Longa and Bishop Khan, Jericho and Ricochet exchanged words to continue the rivalry. They agreed to a 5-on-5 Stadium Stampede match at Double or Nothing. Ricochet said that he wants to beat Jericho at the match that Jericho created. Um, they'll have a 5-on-5 match at Double or Nothing. So Jericho has to find some partners, and then after that, the Demand beat up Chris Jericho. So Jericho got help from the Hurt Syndicate. Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP. So I'm guessing the Hurt Syndicate have nothing going on, so they're probably going to be with Jericho's corner. So he'll just need one more partner. And Ricochet will technically need one more partner too. And then the team of Mina and Harley Cameron were interviewed backstage. Mina hyped up Harley by ripping her shirt to expose Harley in a bra. Harley didn't care because the wrath was back. And people were comparing this to the Attitude Era. AEW Attitude. And the next up was Okada versus Brian Keith. This went about 10 minutes. I was actually surprised. I thought they actually gave Brian Keith some time in this match. And yeah, it showcased his ability. I mean, he's fallen a lot since the learning tree, but and yeah, Okada defeated Brian Keith. After the match, Okada said he wanted more than the international champion because he wants more. Okada said he's coming for the AEW World Title. So yeah. Everybody wants a shot at the AEW Trios Champion, at the AEW World Championships. There's a video package about Andrade. Jet Speed was interviewed as Speedball Mike Bailey said his buddy Speedball Mike Bailey said his buddy Kevin Knight would be the AEW World Champion tonight. Knight was confident going into his match. Samoa Joe did a promo with the Ops talking about how he wanted Will Ospreay to join their team and threatened to beat up Ospreay if it didn't. I forgot to mention too, after the John Moxley match, there was a Will Ospreay had a training session with John Moxley and the Death Riders. Remember when they tried to end Ospreay's career last summer? Will is a forgiving guy. It was more of the same tough love kind of coaching that Moxley did. So next up was Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander versus Mina Shakira and Harley Cameron. And this match, I think, went around 11 minutes. It was an average taking match that went a little bit too long. They did a spot where Shida accidentally hit Chris with a knee when Mina moved, so Harley came close to beating Shida. Harley was yelling a lot to get the crowd more into it. Chris saved Shida with a kick to Harley, and then Shida hit a Falcon Arrow to win. And then the idea seems to be that Chris and Shida are teaming up for now, but they don't necessarily get along that well. And I'm sure the split will come soon. And then Swerve Strickland did a promo about wanting power and going after the most wanted, which is a Bandito reference. And after the break, Brody King and Bandito talked about Swerve's comment, with Bandito saying he was ready for it. And King said he has Bandito's back too. So now it was main event time. Darby Allin versus Kevin Knight. This was a great match. I don't think Kevin Knight has had one bad match in AEW. This match went 16 minutes. Knight jumped off the top with a coast-to-coast drop kick. Knight went on top and hit a UFO splash, but there was slow cover. That was good for a 2 count because Allin got his shoulder up. Allin kicked Knight in the leg and applied a G&G choke on Knight, but Knight tried to fight it. Allen set up Knight upside down from the coffin drop. And yeah, for the win, and it went 16 minutes. And then after the match, Sting went into the ring to celebrate with Darby Allin. That ended Dynamite. And then they had an hour episode of Collision, which I'll be reviewing right away. So Collision opened up with Sting raising the arms of both Knight and Allin, and we finally got the handshake between both men. Sting congratulated Allin and he takes his leave. As Allin takes his sweet time leaving the ring, but before he can leave, here comes MJF. Tony mocks MJF. MJF doesn't know what's worse, the fact that he has to be in the Carolinas or the fact that the Reign of Terror is still going. And he said, Darby, nobody wants to see you with the title anymore. Enough's enough. It's been cute, but it's time to give me that rematch that you owe me. And Darby said no. He said he told Max that if he wants that rematch, you have to put something on the line. MJF said, okay, you want to barter with me? I'll put my scarf on the line. Darby Allin said no. Darby said he can't believe he is saying this, but he'll put this Dynamite diamond ring on the line. That's huge. And then Darby Allin said no. MJF said, you are starting to piss me off. Everybody loves money, so he'll give Darby Allin $1 million. Allin said, you are talking to someone who used to be homeless and lived under the bridge. Your money is no good. MJF said, what do you want? And Allin said he wants something that MJF values dearly. Something that you are so desperate that you'll fly to Turkey to get sworn on your head. He wants your hair. MJF cries for Allin to be reasonable. Allin said next week, contract signing for the title versus hair. If you don't show up, then you'll never get another world title shot. And then MJF goes to talk, but he drops the mic and leaves. And then Okada is here now. Okada grabs the mic from ringside. Next Wednesday, me versus you for your world title. He goes to say B. But Allin grabs his mic and said it's on B, and that's copyright infringement. So there's a lot of memes. There's a lot of reactions already going around online about MJF being bald. So and then the next match was AR Fox. The first match of the night was AR Fox versus Speedball Mike Bailey. This match went 7 minutes and 30 seconds. A short match with two awesome athletes. And then Willow Nightingale, she's back tonight. Tonight more so than any other day. She's proud to be the TBS champion and the face of the company. She has defended her title 9 times now, and she wants people to step up to her because she plans on honoring that legacy. And then there was a commercial. Then the Death Riders are here with Pac in front and center. He congratulates Darby Allin on his title defense, but don't you forget about your good friend, the thorn in your side. We have 3 matches in the AEW, and Pac has won 2 of the 3, so by his logic, that means he deserves a title shot. And then Jamie Hayter versus Guy Blue. This was a really good match. This match went 9 minutes and 20 seconds with Jamie Hayter getting the ring. Sky Blue had 164 matches in AEW now, and she has improved quite a bit over the time. And then Julia Hart and Tekla are in the crowd. Jamie wants them to come down, but Tekla holds Hart back, so Hayter hits Sky with another Haterade. And then Don Callis and members of his family are in the back. Callis said that everything is falling into place for the family. Mark Davis is going to win the national title this Saturday, and Okada won his match tonight. And on top of that, he is Don's handpicked winner for the AEW World title. Jessica objects to this, but Callis calls him Kenny Omega, like that's a bad thing. Andrade says, "How do you know?" and he leaves. So, next match was Roosh versus Manny Lowe. It was a squash match, 45 seconds. Manny went to shake hands. Rush threw him in the corner, proceeds to make his face a permanent part of the corner. Rush loads him up. Manny gets the turn, and and that was it. And then on this week's episode of The Great Travels Adventures of Jungle Jack Perry, Jack tells us that someone once told him this is about the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. And Mark Davis, you are just a dumb big dog. It doesn't matter how big and how dangerous you are, because Perry has beat you already, and he'll do it again. He'll make it to the top of the mountain. And you don't like that? Then F you. Perry screams like Sting, and Luchasaurus honks the Vans horn in approval. And now it was main event time. It was Death Riders and the Dogs versus the Young Bucks and the Bang Gang. This match went 14 minutes and 20 seconds. It was a good match as well. It was a predictable result from the match. But the Bang Gang and the Young Bucks won the match. The Young Bucks. Oh yeah, the Young Bucks and the Bang Gang. Yeah, so yeah, it was a bunch of back and forth. There was a lot happening in this match, but yeah, it was a good match, and yeah. And that was AEW Collision and AEW Dynamite from Wednesday. All in all, it was an all-out good show. They got some matches set up for Double or Nothing, and the matches are always good, so yeah. Let me know what you think about these two shows, and I'll see you in the next video.